ka. Yun na yun. Straight.
Ako bisa sama-sama.
Left side. Ano naman ang matanda? Yun, makikita mo yung 7-Eleven. Tapos, pangalawang katulad na yun. So, straight na yun. Tapos, left side ka. Ato yun, breakthrough. Natunda ko? Exit C2.
Ayan.
O, tapos yung diretso ka, malalagpasan mo. Diretso ka pa. O, tumawid ka. Di ba? Harap mo ba? Diretso yun. Diba nasa exit ka, makikita mo tayo sa level dito, diba? Tapos isa pang isa pang diretsuhin mo kayo. Tapos busong na yun. Ano? Puntahan ka dyan? Isilis na rin. Andyan na rin. Tawanan mo kasi dyan para matutulog.
So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming again. So today we'll continue to talk about the standard employment contract. So we'll start with clause 9 about free medical treatment. Does anyone know whether it is compulsory for your employer to buy medical insurance for you guys?
Yes.
No, it's not compulsory. It's not compulsory for your employers to buy medical insurance. But then with insurance, the insurance company will pay for your medical expenses. But if the limit exceeds, for example, if your insurance only covers 10,000 of your medical expenses, and when your medical expenses exceed that limit, say like 11,000, then the 1,000 have to be covered by your employer. So the scope of the insurance actually only covers when you are performing your duty as a domestic worker. So which means that if you travel overseas for your annual leave, which means for your own purposes, then the insurance doesn't cover your medical expenses when you're on annual leave. And this medical expenses is actually incurred when you're having your annual leave. So any one of you have medical insurance now bought by your employer? Oh, good. Oh,
Yeah, we don't know, but we don't know what it covers.
you don't know what it covers? Oh, we'll talk about later. Well, but actually it's in your contract, right? Like the insurance contract?
You mean insurance policy?
Yeah, insurance
No, but the thing
policy.
is, they don't usually get the insurance
Mm.
policy.
Yeah.
But they don't hand it out.
But it doesn't matter, right? Because
Yeah,
employer
it's
pays for
covered.
it.
Yeah, employer has to cover it. So, what kind of medical practitioner would you guys visit when you're sick? But is it recommended by your employer, or do you know whether they are actually registered on the Hong Kong list of registered medical practitioner?
My experience, yes. My employer asked me to do that.
But bear in mind that the medical practitioner have to be a registered medical practitioner in Hong Kong, and if not, then your employer doesn't have to cover the medical expenses spent. So I know you guys usually prefer doctors from your home country because it's like you can communicate with them more easily and it's more trustworthy, for example. But then if they're not a registered medical practitioner in Hong Kong, then if you visit them, your employer does not have to pay for that. And do you know how to search for the list of registered medical practitioner? So you guys can go to the website of Medical Council of Hong Kong, and there's a column on the left-hand side, and you can click on the list of registered medical practitioner to check whether the practitioner recommended by your employer is actually one of them. So if he is one of them, he or she is one of them, then you can then your employer has to pay for that. So
When I was sick, my madam asked me to go to a doctor. She gave me a card with some money. And so it's free.
oh, it's free, but
It's on my name, it's a card.
yeah,
Because
the
the employer
employer.
pays for it before you go, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Maybe.
I don't know, she doesn't tell me
Yeah,
that.
that's why you don't need to know as long as the employer pays for it. It's fine.
Mm.
You don't need to know whether the employer will get it back from the insurance company as well. As long as you get it back from the employer. That's the point.
But it's okay if I ask her what it covers.
So, as Kelly has mentioned, so long as it's your employer paying, then it's fine. You don't have to pay.
No need to ask anything, right? That's the important thing. You don't pay.
But my boss bought insurance for me, and then whenever I'm sick, I'm going to the doctor which is connected to that.
Yeah.
Connected to that
Insurance
insurance.
company, yeah.
And then I don't need to pay.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless I need to check my breast, my everything for the laboratory, that you need to pay extra.
Yeah, right.
Yes?
Yes.
I have experienced that.
That's true. Okay. So, as I've asked you guys whether the medical practitioner is recommended by your employer, and some of you said yes. So, you cannot actually reject this offer if that's cheaper, for example. But if you need a specialist and your employer actually recommended a general practitioner to you, you can refuse that, and your employer still have to pay you that kind of medical expenses. So, for example, you need a psychiatrist, for example, but then your employer said, oh, you don't need it. You just visit a general practitioner. Then you can have the right to reject that and then claim the medical expenses you visited the psychiatrist from your employer.
So, a question. So you mentioned psychiatrist, right?
For example.
Is it covered? I mean, is there also part of illness as mental illness?
It's a part of that illness, but then whenever you need any medical treatment, for example, and you need a specialist, psychiatrist is one of the specialists, but then your employer said, oh, you don't actually need that, and she just recommends you a general practitioner, then you can refuse that and still go and visit the psychiatrist. And then your employer still have to pay you that sum of money. So As you guys can see in clause 9, the medical expenses actually cover at all kind of medical treatment, but then for dental treatments, it only cover emergency dental treatments. But then there's no definition of what amounts to emergency. So can you guys share your view with me? What do you think about this definition of emergency?
Emergency. In terms of dental, it's like toothache. My tooth was feeling very good. It hurts because there need something to like to take it out or something. I experienced before. I have a toothache which is I cannot eat. So my boss sent me to the dental and then they took it out the bad tooth, which is covered my insurance, which is I'm lucky enough.
Yeah, right.
For my personal, Friday, I went to dental for cleaning without her knowing it. And then I asked for a receipt. The dental wrote a receipt 300 because I said I need to claim for my insurance.